Hello folks, Sean Mize here, and in part two we'll continue from where we left off last. So let's open up the outline, and we were on page 25 or 26. So where we left off in the last training is entering or opening up the idea of talking about why somebody might want to learn whatever it is that you're teaching. Now, with this particular video sales letter or sales letter structure, we're doing something a little bit different than you're probably normally going to do if you are selling a training that teaches someone how to do something. So this is more of a solution that's also going to come with training on how to do something. So if you were teaching on how to do something, then we would be able to use for this section the bullet points that you created in your benefits checklist. So we'll go ahead and pull the benefits checklist up, and we created a benefits list of what someone would want, what you would be teaching someone to do if you were selling information. So in this example, in our pain and problems checklist, what we did was we created the so that statements talking about what your clients really want. Okay? In our case, we talked about these, or we created these from the perspective of the ease of having a templated system. Now, if you were selling a software solution to some need in the marketplace or some need in your niche, then obviously at this point, then we would talk about, at this point here, then we would talk about why we would need that software, and we would use the points that you created here in the pain and problems checklist. In this case, though, because what I'm wanting to do in this sales letter is both offer instruction, or in the product, it's going to offer instruction, which is, of course, what you're receiving right now is the instructional part, plus the templated piece that could be related to a software element. Then we're also going to want to talk about why someone would want this in the first place. So one of the things that I believe I've alluded to, if I haven't, we'll kind of dig into it here, and that's this idea that even though I'm giving you a template, it really needs to be fluid. It needs to be something that you're able to go into a part of it and say, well, the way that Sean has it set up doesn't work for my solution, my product, my niche, and I need to make this different. I need to make this element different. I'll keep the other 10 elements, but this element I'm going to change. Or as you're going through and you create over time, maybe you have 5 products or 7 products over time, you write multiple sales letters, you're going to go through, and over time you may say, okay, we really want to change the structure of the introduction on this one. We really want to change the structure of the close on this one. We want to change the logical pattern that we present the information. And so obviously this is a case, you can see a real live example where I'm actually doing that with my own template here. So now what we're going to do is just talk about why somebody might want to have a video sales letter in the first place. Now, if I had considered, when I created the pain and problems checklist version for this, when we did that work and we did it live, and we talked about this idea that I'm creating this live for you just almost exactly the same way as I would do it personally. The only difference is when I do it personally, I'm usually not starting with my own pre-written outline. I'm starting with that. It's just mentally, it's in my mind. This is the outline. This is what I use when I write a sales letter, but we're not digging into something that's already pre-written. Obviously, the advantage to you having this pre-written is you have that frame that it's right here, it's on paper, it's on virtual paper, and you're able to work with it. So one of the things that's happened as I've gone through the process of demonstrating how to use this, I've added more teaching in than I really thought that I would do. When I envisioned this product, I really envisioned it just as a toolbox. It would have the templates in it, have some quick instructions on how to use them, and then I just throw it out to you and let you use it. The teacher in me has begun to come out a little bit as we go through here, and as I've gone through slide by slide showing you what to do and how to do it, what you've seen me do is give you commentary on, hey, why are we doing this? And the importance of you understanding why we're doing this is so that you can make adjustments, and it allows it to be much more robust. It allows you to make something fluid. It allows something that you're going to be able to allow it to morph even through the years. As the market changes, you can continue to use that outline and change it. So as a result, there's a lot of training in here. And so my thought has been, okay, now if we're going to throw that training in, we might as well present it in the sales letter as having an element of training. And so that's going to change the sales letter a little bit, but it doesn't change the outline, the template that you're working with. So what we're going to do here in this Y section, we finished that slide in this Y section, in the next few slides, and this right here is in your template. So this will jog your memory here. In the next few slides, we'll tell a story, explain why it's important, give facts if possible, use emotion if possible, and as you probably know, both facts and emotion to appeal not only to both personality types, but in most cases, as people make decisions, they make those decisions emotionally, they make them with an element of logic. Different people process information differently. Some people process it primarily logically, some people process it primarily emotionally. But I believe that in most cases, even if someone's an emotional decision maker, they kind of back it up with logic. If they're a logical decision maker, I think for most people, there's still an element of emotion that says, yeah, let me pull that final trigger. Because of that, we want to put both of those things in. So at this point, we just want to tell a story. You know, at this point, if we had prepared for this ahead of time, and by the way, as you're writing your sales letter, you're going to get to places just like this where you say, hey, I'm not totally prepared for this. We're going to have to ad lib it. We're going to have to change it. Like I said, something that allows you to be fluid. What we would have done at this point is in our pains and problems checklist, we would have created what some of those whys are. Rather than going back and redoing all of that, I want you to see it live the way that I would do it in real life. So let's go ahead and create those whys, and we'll do them right now. Insert a page break here. We'll just do those here, and this will just be for our memory, so we can think about this story and how it's going to kind of play out. So, you know, why video sales letters? We just kind of brainstorm here. One, they convert. To becoming a common method of selling. So if anything, those are probably our logical issues here. Hey, they do tend to convert. And there's a lot of evidence out there, and I'm purposely not wanting to pull in exact statistics because statistics change over time. But there's a lot of evidence if you've been in the market for some period of time, you've been looking at video sales letters, what you've probably heard is a lot of anecdotal information along the lines of video sales letters may convert twice as well as print, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what those exact numbers are, and really anytime we pull out a statistic like that and we say in a vacuum, we say anything outperforms something else by 2 times or by 10% or whatever the case is, it's still case specific. It can be different in every niche. Obviously, it can differ. If you write a great sales letter but make a lousy video, well, your sales letter will probably convert better than your video. If you create a great sales letter and a great video in I don't want to say most niches, but my guess is most niches, without naming them. My guess is that most of the time you'll see that across the board, the video looks like it's converting better than the print. Now, the truth of the matter is that there's segments of population. Some people convert better to hearing the spoken word. Other people convert better with print. So even if you look at a marketplace, in your marketplace, a percentage of people that are your prospects will probably respond better to print, and a percentage of those individuals will probably respond better to video. Now, the solution to this is to create both a video and a print version so that someone can listen to it. If they buy, great. If they don't buy, maybe they'll convert better to print, then we can expose them to print. And the second logical reason here is, hey, it's becoming a common method of selling. Now, just because something's common doesn't mean that we should use it. However, one of the reasons I think that it's becoming so common is A, they do tend to convert, and then B, what is going to be point 3 here, they are super easy to create. And obviously, you're seeing me create it because you have the outline. It makes it even easier, but once you've done 10, 15, 20 of these types of things, after a while you almost don't even need the outline. The outline is just sitting in your mind, and you know it and you use it when you're creating them. But why are they easier to create than print? Well, the thing is, with print, we have to make it appealing. You know, you may spend 2 hours writing the sales letter. You may spend 6 hours figuring out the graphic solutions, determining your exact headlines and subheadlines, making things look good. Where are we going to highlight it? Where are we going to bold it, et cetera, et cetera. Well, one of the things we've discovered, and you know, we don't know that this is robust over all time, that video sales letters are used. But one of the things that we're really finding across the board with video sales letters is that for the most part, they convert really well with just print on a page. Literally reading that print on a page, reading it on a slide at the same time as someone is viewing it. And there's been some ideas postulated out there as to why that's the case. You know, my guess is, and most of these ideas kind of revolve around this idea that you're using multiple senses. And when you're using multiple senses, you're taking a larger part of somebody's focus. And if they're more focused, then they'll tend to follow all the way through at a deeper pace. Because of the fact that it's I don't want to say that it's unedited, but it's not glorified. There's no font issues. There may be some graphics that could embellish it if you wanted to move down that route, maybe some bolding and italicizing, but nothing of the care that goes into making a sales letter really look good. So they're really easy to create. You know, in reality, video sales letter, you can generally, you know, I find I can generally write them in, without putting me into a box here, I want to say a couple hours. Sit down and write one in a couple hours, and really the next step after writing it is, you know, proofing it for spelling, making sure you've got just the right amount on each slide, and those are pretty simple editing issues that you're going to see here. And then you simply record it. So across the board, they tend to be a whole lot easier to do than sales letters. And if I dare say this, while a sales letter, I believe, to convert really takes some time. I mean, you know, we see people taking a year or 6 months or a year, 2 years to become even relatively proficient writing a sales letter. With a video sales letter, you know, a few days, especially with an outline like you're receiving here, within a few hours, you can create your video sales letter. Whereas a real print one, to create something that's of quality, that's going to convert like the video, would take a whole lot more energy and effort. So those are really the 3 biggest reasons here. Okay, so what I probably should have done is made that, what I just shared with you, made that the story. That commentary made that the story. Okay, so these are the bullet points. And so the next step will be writing out in slides what we just discussed. And so what I think we'll do is we'll close out this video and then we'll write that out in the next video.